Good evening and welcome back to the One Celtic Fans View this evening. Lots to talk about. Lots to talk about this evening. Matt O'Reilly has had that offer from down south. Will it mean that he will finally leave Celtic? Whilst Rio Hatate has been getting some interest from Brendan Rodgers' old team. Also, let me just channel history. Let me just get this sorted before we do live. I'll check this out. Yes. There we go. Yeah, so we're doing a poll. Who would you sell first? Would it be Matt O'Reilly or would it be Rio Hatate? Currently sitting on 39 votes just early on, and then it's 78% for Rio Hatate. 21%. It's now changed, so it is going to be changing all the time. We're sitting at 43 votes now. 79% for Rio Hatate. So make sure you jump on to that. Let me just double check this. Yeah, there we go. Lorna Gallagher is in the house, evening trips. Um, I thought you've been a member for a month now, so why is your comments not highlighted? Paul Beard's in the house. Let's jump into the comments first of all. Zed Head, hail boys and girls. I think it's the end game for Matt O'Reilly. If Real goes as well, then it's nobody's bigger than Celtic. We carry on. This is very true. Yeah, I've seen the stuff about selling Cameron Carter-Vickers. Celtic will not sell Cameron Carter-Vickers. You've got to remember, Cameron Carter-Vickers just signed a new long-term contract last year, and he is one player that will not be sold by Celtic. So do not worry about that. I wouldn't worry about that one. When it comes to the likes of Rio Hatate and Matt O'Reilly, but I've said for a while that I think Rio Hatate's time will be up quite soon. When it is, we don't know. Will it be this summer or will it be next? It's just breaking news that Rangers have identified and banned 4 fans for the incident with St Johnstone, and their 51-year-old woman was assaulted. I've just missed that. But yeah, there's breaking news tonight that 4 Rangers fans have been, and rightly so. Rightly so. I noticed that a lot of the media didn't cover it. I mean, I did point it out because, let's face it, Celtic fans were not safe. But that is breaking news. It's coming out this evening. But anyway, let's jump back into the comments. Mark says, if we sell both players, we're fucked. Yes, we are, because the board won't spend the money. Hell, I think we will. I think we've got around about 15 million to 20 million that we will spend in this window. Don't quote me on that, but it's just a feeling that I've got. I think Brendan Rodgers knows that we need quality in. We need a striker. There's talk about us getting a striker that could be free as a third choice one, but you never know when it comes to other positions. If we sell Matt O'Reilly and Rio Hatate, we're going to have to invest heavily in the middle of the park. We did bring in Paulo Bernardo. He is okay. Odom Ohm, well, Paulo Bernardo's more than okay. Paulo Bernardo's going to be a sensation for Celtic, and I think that given time, he will be a better player than Matt O'Reilly. And people will talk in a few years' time and go, Matt who? I'm just keeping my tabs on Sky Sports. So yeah, Big Dom says, so sad and annoying that it's come to this after great football we are now playing. Yes, I think that is the annoying thing for most Celtic fans, Dom. Mark says, Zedhead, if we keep selling our best players, we'll never progress in Europe. Yeah, that is one of the bugbears that I have. We seem to get so far with a team. And all good teams keep the nucleus of their players going into European football to try and progress. We know the Celtic model, and the Celtic board, let's face it, they're more than happy to just dod along in Europe. If we get tanked, they're not really fucking fussy, are they? The Celtic board aren't fussy at all if we get tanked in Europe. They then put it on the manager, and then the manager goes, well, you fucking sold my best players. I told you the players I wanted in. Spend some money. But will this be the season that changes? We've got 11 days left of the transfer window. Statement Brendan Rodgers said about Celtic being happy to spend 18 million on 9 players. And it should be the same, £3 or £6 million. Yeah, exactly. It seems the board are not spending money on reinforcements needed because of the Sevco shite. Yes, it's another season of downgrading, and I've spoke about this lots of times before. I've spoken about this lots of times before. We go through a period where we downsize the wage bill, we downsize the playing squad, and then when they come into a bit of money and they come good again, we then go and spend, which I think is wrong. It's pretty similar to what happened when Ronnie Dyler came to the club. Celtic really don't need. I'm just jumping that comment. Paul says Celtic really don't need to sell either of these players because their time and their contracts. As soon as that bid comes in for 25 million plus the add-ons, the fact that it's came out that Celtic and Brighton will be in talks for the next couple of days. Brighton are looking to sell 2 players, and if they sell both those players, and then if they sell both those players, they're sitting with money, and they can come in, get Matt O'Reilly, and then that'll be it. End of for the club. Is it a good move for Matt O'Reilly? When you look at it, no, but you know the way that Matt O'Reilly thinks. Now there has been some speculation for some people online. I mean, there's one guy from the GRV Media Group, and you might say, well, why are you talking about GRV Media? GRV Media is the company that owns Hail 67, and GRV Media are the company that owns Hail 67. A guy, Sean Fisher, a football writer for GRV Media, Hail 67, has come out and said that Matt O'Reilly wants away. He's come out and said that Matt O'Reilly wants away. Now, Matt O'Reilly's never said this, so Sean Fisher, I think you're talking shite, personally. Matt O'Reilly has never come out and said that he wants away. Could Brighton be the team that he goes to? If he goes to Brighton, he will see Brighton as a stepping stone, which means Celtic will need to make sure that they have at least a 15% sell-on clause. And it'd be nice to have more than that, actually, especially for Matt O'Reilly, because he will one day sell for £50 million plus. You can guarantee that if he goes into the English League and performs the way he can for Celtic, he will sell for a lot more money in the future. He will sell for a lot more money in the future. I'm just jumping back here because that screen is all over. They don't want it to go. They need to give them 40, 50 grand a week to keep them. Exactly. I have said this before. Look at the long term with Matt O'Reilly. Give Matt O'Reilly 45 grand a week and tell him you'll sell him in 2 years' time. Make sure that we bring in players that we can qualify for the Champions League the next 2 seasons. That then brings in over £150 million to the Celtic coffers. 150 million is a lot more, way more than the 30 million that they would ultimately get for Matt O'Reilly this summer. But the board do not see it like that. They do not see it like that. The comments are flying in. John says, I would like to see us to hold on to both players. I think maybe, just maybe, to have a crack at Europe. But these guys will do the business as usual. I think Rio Hatate, if there's one player that everyone says, and we've spoken about this before, Matt O'Reilly has never came out and said he wants to leave the club. Rio Hatate, on the other hand, has said that he would like to play at a higher level domestically, which means England or European football. I mean, we all know that there's more chance of going to England than anywhere else. Leicester could be the team to come in and snap up the player. We have 153 votes already. There's 29% said they would sell Matt O'Reilly. 71% said they would sell Rio Hatate first. So yeah, they would like to get Rio Hatate out the door before the one and only Matt O'Reilly. So if you haven't voted, make sure you do. There's currently 258 people on the live, and there has been 435 with 51 likes. Carly, Matt O'Reilly is not going to Pishy Brighton. Carly, I'm worried about this one. I am seriously worried. Right, I've jumped through. Simon Island says the board are getting too greedy with a record amount in the bank. 3 strips this season. Hail Baz, says Simon. Yep. Minimum 30% sell-on. Yeah, I think it should be at least a minimum of 30% sell-on, because let's face it, we don't need to sell them. If they really want the player, And in the modern day game, they know that they'll be able to take Matt O'Reilly and they will be able to push him to a higher level. And then Matt O'Reilly will jump to a top 4 or 5 team in the English Premiership or European football. Now, for me, it's sad because when you look at the fact that Atletico Madrid came in for Matt O'Reilly already, Atletico Madrid came in for Matt O'Reilly, and the fact that they put in an offer for the player. I'm Atletico Madrid just came up on the scene. It's Conor Gallagher's transfer. Conor Gallagher's transfer to Atletico Madrid is back on. Fulham make a bid of initial 20 million for a midfield player from Burnley. Leicester, but anyway, yeah, I think when you look at it, they have over 100 million in the bank, even without the sale of Matt O'Reilly or Rio, exactly. And with the Champions League money that's coming this season, Celtic are going to be sitting pretty when it comes to the AGM. 169 votes, and it's still at 71% for Rio Hatate and 29% for the one. It's a bit quieter tonight on the chat. It's a bit quieter tonight. Point Mania will only leave if a proper step up, not a step up in wages. He will see Brighton in the English Premier League as a step up from the SPFL. Matt O'Reilly. Unfortunately, he will. And he'll also see Fulham. He'll also see Brighton. I'm just seeing Fulham crap coming up on my screen. He'll also see Brighton as a stepping stone, like many other players have done when they went down to England. They see it as a stepping stone to a bigger club. Now, when you look at the one and only Kieran Tierney, he walked straight into the Arsenal team. I think that is the level. Personally, I think that is the level that Matt O'Reilly should be going to. I think that Brighton, as well as they will, I mean, they're going to finish mid-table, Brighton, and they might finish about 8th or maybe 7th if you're lucky this season. But we'll wait and see. We'll wait and see what happens. There is 11 days left of the transfer window. So DJ Singy is in the house. Bryson's a step down. It is a step down considering there's no European football, but Matt O'Reilly took a step backwards. You have to look at the mindset of Matt O'Reilly and what he's done previously. He took a step backwards to leave Fulham and go to MK Dons so that he could take the next step forward. And he's the type of player. He is the type of player that will take what he sees as a step sidewards before a step forward. And I think that there's every chance that he'll do that with Celtic. It has been suggested that he has agreed wages with Brighton. Just give me 2 seconds to double check this. Where was it? Even Chelsea are starting to get a bit ruffled. Will Chelsea come in with a counter bid? Celtic are bracing themselves for a bigger offer from Brighton to make it after they're trying to move ahead of Chelsea. Will this just get Chelsea into action? Could there be a bidding war? Could there be a bidding war? O'Reilly, Brighton have reportedly lodged a formal bid for Celtic's maestro. How dare they call him the midfield maestro? He couldn't lace Paul Lambert's boots. Or could he? There's a question for me. Tell me in the comment section. Is Matt O'Reilly as good as Paul McStay? Paul Baird says, I've said it before, Brendan Rodgers will do what he's told by the board. End of story, Paul. It looks like that you will be right. Stephen Johnston is in the house. Big shout out to you, Stephen. Big emoji, big love heart emoji to Stephen. Matt O'Reilly wants to play in the Champions League, says Carly. He's not looking straight into Arsenal midfield. You're having it. I never said he was going to go into an Arsenal midfield, but Kieran Tierney at a similar age walked straight into the Arsenal midfield. I think that Matt O'Reilly should be aiming a little bit higher than Brighton personally. I just say Derek says I think he will stay I'm sure his missus got a year left at uni. Yeah, that's the truth. The maestro all day long. Yeah, exactly. No. When I hear the maestro, I think of McStay. Exactly. And this website is Glasgow World, actually. No, it's not. It's a Chelsea site. They've called him Celtic's midfield maestro. Absolutely disgusting from fucking Football London, football.london. Absolutely disgusting chat. I'm disappointed. I can't say that without fucking laughing. Who else can't say I'm disappointed without laughing and thinking of fucking Tavernier? And you're thinking, oh, Jesus. Oh, no, no, I'm disappointed. Stephen Johnson's given us a big thumbs up. Weck says it doesn't matter where O'Reilly goes. The problem is we need a replacement and three more players in. The fact is, we still need at least a minimum of 3 or 4 players in at the moment. If we sell Matt O'Reilly or Rio Hitati, if we sell them both, that's about 5 players we need to get in a week. Brendan Rodgers spoke during the transfer window, during the summer season, pre-season camp, talking about getting all these tactics into play for the summer. Where our season has started. The Champions League is just round the corner. Everything that Brendan Rodgers has spoke about with the team and Matt O'Reilly and Rio Hitati during the summer about formation changes, positional changes, that all goes up in the friggin' air. It goes up in the air when you sell 2 of your midfield players. Will Celtic sell both of them? I do not think so. But I think if one of them was to push it, it would be Rio Hitati. It will be Rio Hitati. But we could be in an absolute disaster of a position coming into the end of the transfer window where Kyogo decides, I need to get this operation done on my shoulder. He's then out for 4 months. Celtic need to go in and find 2 strikers, I would say, because having Dyson as a striker is okay, as we know, but he prefers it out in the wing. It makes the squad weaker. We then need around about 5 players in within a week. Now, the adequacy of this Celtic PLC to get players in the first instance is what is troubling me tonight. In the first instance, they have took all summer to get 2 outfield players in that were on loan to Celtic last season. They were on loan to Celtic last season, and it took them all summer to get them in. My main concern is, can we get 5 players in a week and not loan players? There's a lot of big deals going around just now in England and Europe. A lot of good money being spent, but Celtic are not doing it. Magnus Watt says, "Hey, Lorna Gallagher, I'm just back from driving Ida up to Glasgow. For Orkney. For Orkney? Baz, we can't keep selling our best players. Paul, I know this. We can't. It shows no ambition by the club, and we all want the best for Celtic, and we all want to just have that one crack at Europe where we manage to keep our best players. And we know, don't give us this bullshit, it's the business model. The business model also says that if we get into the Champions League, we don't need to sell players. Zeri once said a disaster or a blessing in disguise. I think the board are keeping their powder dry. I think so. Gareth says, I'd prefer Rio, but I want 20 million mark. He's not consistent as Shagger O'Reilly. Paul McStay was the maestro. Paul McStay is the one and only maestro. 2 centre forwards, a left back, a centre back, and a midfield and a winger. The lad from Dundee will be our board's replacement for O'Reilly. Yes, the lad from Dundee and the lad from Liverpool looking like the 2 players that Celtic will get in. And other Celtic news, Celtic are keeping a close eye on Aaron Connolly. Yep, Celtic are keeping a close eye on Aaron Connolly. The Irish striker is currently a free agent after he started with Hull City. With the transfer deadline approaching, it's been said that Connolly impressed with 8 goals and 30 appearances in all competitions. That's not setting the heather on fire, is it? I mean, I suppose it's okay for a third choice. Okay for a third choice, but it's not setting the heather on fire. Considering Adam Idas scored 9 goals in half a season with Celtic and 9 goals with half a season with the one and only Norwich City. Um, right, here's this nonsense. What Matt O'Reilly has told Celtic, according to the Sean Fisher. Sean Fisher, who works for, yeah, I'm going to go over this again. The GRV Media. He's a football writer for GRV Media, which is basically Hail Hail 67. What the fuck? Yeah, it's Hail Hail 67. They own GRV Media owns Hail Hail 67, and he has come out and said um, he understands that Brighton have opened talks with Celtic. We know about that, of a deal for Matt O'Reilly. The Premier League club are looking to thrash out the deal for the 23-year-old Denmark international. They believe that personal terms have already been discussed and agreed in principle. Both clubs are now in negotiations over a fee for the midfield player. So, according to this guy, Matt O'Reilly has already agreed wages. If he's agreed wages with Brighton, it's the end game. Now, do not quote me on this guy because I don't trust him, to be honest. um, he does only have 546 followers on Twitter. Comes out of Manchester, but he writes for the media group that owns Hail Hail 67. So take from that what you want. Anyway, let's get back to the poll. Would you sell Matt O'Reilly first? There's only 218 votes. God, the channel's quiet tonight, isn't it? I thought it'd be busier. It's a Monday night. Where is everyone? The board is full, is completely deluded, says football is life. What about Johnny Kenny? Says Shay. Johnny Kenny is on loan in Ireland for the remainder of this season. He was put out on loan way before we got anywhere near pre-season football. So he's back in Ireland playing, and he won't be brought back to Celtic, I don't think, until the end of the season. Hun fans are on here. Rangers died. All the Huns fans on here. Rangers died in 2012. You're supporting a dead team. I don't think there's any Huns on here tonight. That's probably why the viewers are way down. The viewership's are way down tonight. Sad faces. No one is leaving. Please, can we agree a deal with a club that doesn't mean it's been approved by both clubs? Needs to come to an agreement. Yeah, players can come. Yeah, exactly, Lanky. But if he has agreed, wages, it's end game. It is end game. As far as I'm concerned, if this is the first time that it's came out that it's been announced. He never agreed wages with the Italians. It never came out that he had agreed wages with the Italians. It came out today that he's agreed wages with Brighton. Brighton. You know he's going to end up there. The border's full of the border's full of charlatans. I don't think it's full of charlatans. It's full of businessmen that want to make as much money for the club, and it makes you wonder what's actually going on in the background for the reason for holding so much cash. Now the Huns will come out and say, "It's the power of victims," and fucking they play the victim because they don't have a home. Anyway, can't talk to another club if not agreed. It's pish. That's not exactly true. Your agent can do the talking for you, and the agent is generally the Matt O'Reilly's not going to sit down and go, "Look, I'm on fucking 18 grand a week at Celtic." He's not going to turn around and go, "I'm wanting 30 grand." That's like agents that do that. Agents then pick up the phone to Matt and go, "Look, I've got you 30 grand a week. Do you want it?" That's how it works. Matt O'Reilly will have absolutely nothing to do with the conversations. Now, when it tells you Big Adam Ida got sold and he got phoned by his mum. His mum phoned him and went, "Adam, you've been sold to Celtic." Anyway, Kenny is still banging him in from the Rovers. Is that there's no Huns on here. our pods make sure these days wonder why. Yeah, there's no Huns on here because they're shite. There's never been any Huns on here for ages because they would just get laughed at. Breaking news: Brighton have made an offer for James McCarthy. He's had an opportunity to sniff Mattarelli and Rio's balls, and reportedly they smell good. Says Gareth Robertson with that breaking news. Good God, you Gareth, Mattarelli and you here is disturbing. It's disturbing. Oh, Jesus. Evan Boy says Mattarelli's a smart boy and money is not his motivation. He will choose the right club. Um, there'll be a team that plays in European football. Do not count on that. I'm starting to actually doubt that myself because when you think about it, Matt O'Reilly he took a step backward once before. Sometimes to take a step forward, you need to take a step backward, and he done that. He done that when he left Fulham and he went to MK Dons. He took a step backward so that they can then he got the Celtic deal. He then what the fucking hell is it? He then came to Celtic and he's probably thinking the exact same thing. If I take a step backward after the Celtic deal, I can then go to the very top of the game. But you never know. It is England. We should offer Matt 45 grand a week and then sell him next year. I've said that for a while. And it's not even that. It's not even sell him next year. I think it's sell him the year after and get the whole 100 grand from the Champions League. Zedhead said, I think the board is trying to put Celtic in a strong financial position and then put the club up for sale. Not a chance. Not a chance. They're not going to put the club up for sale. I think that they've still got the hotel. They still have the planning permission for the hotel. I've got a Chris Sutton badge member. Love it. John Paul Murray has got a Chris Sutton badge member because you have been an official member for 1 month. You're into your second month, so yes, it does change on a month-to-month basis. Wait till you see for the months after this. So yes, big shout out to John Paul Murray. He has a Chris Sutton as a badge member. He's got Chris Sutton as his badge. There should be a couple other ones that's got Chris Sutton as a badge member also. I think it is. It will be. I'll tell you just now. Lorna and Carly. Lorna and Carly will both have that also because they're 1 month into their memberships. I thought it highlighted your chat when you were a member. I wonder how it highlights this. I need to find out how it highlights. I thought it highlighted the chat of each member, but it just gives you the sticker. I've got a City 2, says Carly. Yep. I thought it was snapped up. The Jagged God says, it's Matt better half than last year. Matt's better half is in her last year at Glasgow Uni. Maybe he will stay till she's done a degree. Fingers crossed. I think at this stage, Matt missed out on the Euros and he knew that the big stage to shine. If he does join Brighton, that will motivate him, and the clubs down south and Italy will want him. It's a game of chess. It is in Lanky. It is a game of chess for Matt. I think he's at the stage now in his career where he knows that he can get that big move. He can get that big move. What I'm worried about in the Celtic midfield is when you think about it, we've never really replaced Scott Brown. Callum McGregor does a fantastic job, but he's better further forwards. Before Matt O'Reilly came into the club, was playing in the club, we had Aaron Moy sitting in that central midfield position. Now, is Tomoki Awata the person to come in? Is there going to be formation changes? Is there going to be player movement changes? I don't know. Brendan Rodgers is going to have his work. Who we've got? Tommy Gallican. Mike, I'm just reading this. Give me a second. I think Spurs will come in now for Matt. No, they won't. Spurs have just signed another midfielder today at 20 million. I don't think that Matt O'Reilly will go to Spurs. What is it? Fucking fireworks. It's time for them Beth to go and us to grow up. It's how we operate to our full potential as a club. We will replace them, says Celtic boy. Yeah, we will replace them, but does it make his Does it make us any stronger in the Champions League? Does it get us into a position? Look at all the top teams in Europe. They very rarely change a lot of the players consistently as much as what Celtic do. When you look at it, Celtic, when we go into Europe, we can have a really good team one year, and then next year we'll have a team that you're thinking, no way. And every time that we get near to that level where we think just two or three really good players to come in and make this team just that little bit better for the Champions League, can we then? But no, we sell the player. It happens when we sold Jota. Do you know? We haven't sold a big player for a couple of seasons. The Celtic board will be going, nope, we want the 30 million. Spurs are one up. Sorry, this video could be played. What is going on? Fucking apps just went. Oh, fuck off. The fucking app's just fucking died. Sky Sports have just killed it up. And I've not installed the other app. I was meant to install the other app this morning and they said this would happen. Who really cares? It's one step forward, two steps back. That's the way that Celtic always goes. It's always one step forward and two steps back with Celtic. And you'd think we would get used to it. Right, there's 257 votes. We're sitting at 69% for Rio Hatate, 31% for Matt O'Reilly. Everyone wants to keep Matt O'Reilly before Rio Hatate. I think Matt O'Reilly and the one and only Paulo Bernardo in midfield would be absolutely tremendous, but we don't think we're going to see that at all. And does Matt have to have the pace to play at the top level tempo? I think he'll play further forward in a midfield. And yes, there's teams that will get there. Listen, when there's top team in Italy, when a top team in Spain come in for him, it's not all 100 mile an hour stuff. You know, it is more technical. And they see that technical ability from Matt O'Reilly. They see the technical. And Matt O'Reilly's got some good set of feet on him. He does have a good technical ability, and that's what they'll look at. You know, they're not looking at him to be somebody to grab the ball for the halfway line and make an absolute belter of a run. They know that that's not Matt O'Reilly. They know that Matt O'Reilly, you get him the ball just outside the box, and he's going to take on a few players and getting the crosses in, getting in balls in. Look, you don't score the goals and get the assists for that Matt O'Reilly does for him not to be a top midfield player and a top midfield player that's going to go places in the game. Anyway, we have the crap TV deal. Selling our players seems to be the only way of bringing in money. Big money, yes, it is. 350 viewing, says Zhead, and 150 thumbs up. It says 121 on mine. Right, anyway. We have, okay, let me just, that's the Mrs. texting. Bingo's finished. 2 minutes. So I'll just text her back. That's Mrs. Text. Right, we're going to end the poll in roughly about 8 seconds. We've got 260 votes. The channel's been really quiet tonight. There's only been 1,135 people in the chat. Usually at night there's about 3,000 people on. So it is a bit quiet tonight. 121 after 124 thumbs up. Going to close the poll in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If you haven't voted, you've just missed your chance. It's quieter tonight, isn't it? It's quieter tonight. 70%. Where's the 1% gone? 1% has disappeared. Would you sell? Who would you sell first? Rio, 70%, Matt O'Reilly, 29%. And it was only 266 votes. There has been 1,152 people on the live this evening. Thank you to everyone that has been on the live. The Canio, look at what Matt O'Reilly's balls recently, absolute class. Yeah, Matt O'Reilly is. Spurs are playing on Sky Baz. Yeah, that's probably why a lot of people aren't watching, because Spurs are playing. People tend to watch football rather than listen to some Scottish geezer talking about it. Anyway, on that note, And Baz, the flagpole. Stephen McDonald, the flagpole. It's the lamppost you want to be talking about. Sack the board, says Carly. Yep, sack the board as far as I'm concerned in a shower of shite. Anyway, it's been fantastic to everyone that has been on the live tonight. A big to that side. Big love heart emoji to the one and only Stephen, who is one of our channel members. The message is just bingo's over. Wait a minute, message. No location found. Oh, the little shite. Ah. Hmm. Right, anyway, that's been done and dusted for the evening. We are sitting on 1,882 subscribers. We are 1,000 before, before the end of December. Can we get to that and get to as many as possible? The last comments go to Paulie. You're lost to 1%. You're lost 1% in every poll. Yeah, we do that. It's weird. Desmond Donna says, Baz, something must have been wrong. Come to the viewing figures. Still short. Cheers. High five to Stephen. Stephen's given us a big wave. And on that note, I'll see you in tomorrow morning's video, and hopefully we'll have some better news when it comes to Celtic. Maybe a link to a few players that will actually come in within the next 11 days. It's getting